Ready to shine inside out? Welcome to Polished Beauty Podcast, where ambition meets empowerment. We talk business, beauty, brain, body. I am your host, Dr. Daisy Aim, triple board certified cosmetic surgeon and OBGYN. Let's get polished.
Welcome back to the Polished Beauty segment. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary journey of a woman who has shown the world that it's never too late to transform your life. At the age of 70, Joan MacDonald decided to rewrite her story. Facing serious health issues, she embarked on a fitness journey that not only shed over 70 pounds, but also gained her immense physical and mental strength. Today, she's a global fitness icon with over 1.8 million followers on Instagram. She goes by the handle Train with Joan. She inspires people of all ages to embrace healthier lifestyles. Her story has been featured in Shape, Forbes, and Women's Health, making her a beacon of resilience, self-love, and empowerment. Joining me today is my fabulous contributor, Dr. Daisy Aim, triple board certified OBGYN and cosmetic surgeon, and founder of the Polished Beauty Podcast. Together, we'll chat with Joan about her journey, what keeps her motivated, and practical tips to help you optimize your health at any age. Joan MacDonald is proving it's never too late to rewrite your fitness story. Joan, welcome to the show, superstar.
Welcome, Joanne. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Dr. Daisy.
All right. So, Joan, your story is so relatable to millions of people, especially women who are dealing with health challenges later in life. And according to a study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity, regular exercise can reduce chronic disease risks by up to 50% in seniors, yet only about 28% of adults over 60 engage in sufficient physical activity. What was the tipping point for you to embrace fitness at 70, and how did you overcome the mental and physical barriers at the very beginning?
Okay, the tipping point actually was I was very upset with my life the way it was going. I kept thinking to myself, is this it? My daughter threw down the challenge, and I just felt ready to pick up the gauntlet and join her transformation group. I was having trouble with my gardening and my bicycle riding and walking upstairs. I needed a change.
And change, you got it. You know, the standard American diet is nutrient poor. So nutrition is a big part in any lifestyle or fitness journey. I want to know, Joan, how has that evolved with you, starting your journey with fitness and where you are, your nutrition?
You have to have protein. You have to have good fats. You have to have a certain amount of carbs. And it had to be sustainable. Like, I'm not one of these people that can go on a grapefruit diet or whatever. It's crazy. You have to be able to eat properly and be able to eat socially as well as every day.
Yeah, but when it comes to starting a fitness routine, many people are paralyzed by the idea of doing too much and too soon. And research from the American Council on Exercise suggests that small, consistent steps can lead to long-term success. So what advice would you give to someone who feels overwhelmed at the thought of even starting their fitness journey, especially later in life?
Start off small, but be consistent. You can't just do it one day and then a week later do it again. It's every day. You get into a routine. You practice, like I said, doing small things, but each thing that you do becomes easier. It's like when you were a child. Everything you did was hard until you practiced it, and then it got easier, and then you can do things more aggressively as you go along. And that helped
That's
me an awful
fantastic
lot.
advice.
Like,
That's
Yeah.
fantastic advice. And I love how you make it about celebrating small victories instead of chasing perfection,
it's
right?
not
Because it's a perspective we all need to
it's
embrace.
not about perfection. It's about consistency and habit.
Now, Joan, I want to know for that woman or man later in life that embraces fitness as you have, there's going to be tough days. There are going to be days that they just cannot get it going. How do you stay motivated and consistent and sustainable? Where do you get that from?
With me, it's more of stubbornness than anything else. I know that what I
Mhm.
want, I have to embrace it and do it, whether I feel like doing it or not. We had a challenge about 1%. And that 1% of anything we do in life, as long as you're doing 1% better, it's going to have a big impact in a short period of time. Whether it's eating, sleeping, hydrating, and your nutrition, it's all something that you can accomplish. And it doesn't have to feel like, oh, I can't do this.
Joanne, one of the conversation, or I should say, a recurring theme in my practice with patients when I try to encourage exercise, nutrition, and just embracing that lifestyle later in life, the common thing I get back is, oh, my knee hurts, or my back hurts, or I have this medical element is restraining me, or there's always something to explain why it cannot be done. So, what I wanted, if you can share with us, what are some of the myths in aging and exercise that you can debunk for us?
There's nothing written that says you can't change, no matter how old you
Mhm,
are or how young.
mhm,
We all can change. We've done it from the day we were born. It's all in what you want, all where you put the emphasis in your life. And you have to love yourself before you can actually love others. You need to know that things are going to hurt, but you'll get over it. It's not you don't have to put up with pain, you have to put up with discomfort.
That's a great one. That's a great myth that you debunk
yes.
right there. You don't have to put up with pain. You have to put up with discomfort. You just said it all in that sentence. And that brings me to something else. Social media, right? That can be a double-edged sword, especially for influencers like you. And on one hand, it's a platform for positivity, and on the other, it can expose you to criticism. And it's interesting because the research doesn't lie. According to Pew Research, 41% of online adults over 65 are now active on social platforms. So, how do you stay positive and manage the pressures of being a fitness influencer in such a public space?
I've had a lot of criticism. I've had people saying that I've used steroids and stuff like that. It's not possible to have muscle definition in your body when you get older. That's, well, I'm sorry to say, or I'm glad to say, that they don't know what they're talking about. I have never had to take any of that stuff. I don't want it in my body, for one thing. And I just feel that I'm naturally strong. Um, I've had to work hard for everything I've done in my life. And I think most women do. They don't even realize how much they do in their lifetime. And they don't give themselves credit because they've never been given credit by outsiders. It's always been, I've heard this for so long. You're finished when you're 40. That's so much crap. Like, it really, you're finished? No, you're just starting. You're really just starting. And
yes.
I wish I would have had, well, if my daughter couldn't have been any older than what she was, or younger than what she was to teach me. Um, thank God I had her, because she's been such a motivation to me to keep doing what I'm doing, to show the world that change can come about no matter what your age is, and it is can be positive. The only thing stopping you from being the best of what you can be is yourself. No one else can do it for
So
you.
true.
You've got to do the hard
Yeah.
stuff.
One of the things I wanted to touch on, you say so beautifully, you are living. You don't stop living in your 60s, your 70s, your 80s. You stop living when it's
That's
over. So before that time, let's live and let's live well. What exercise would you recommend for someone in their 60s, 70s that they could start safely and effectively for
At
them?
any age, yes. Well, three of the things that
Yes.
I've think people should start moving, for one thing. None of this sitting on the
Mhm.
couch watching the boob tube. Whether it's walking, biking, swimming, dancing, they all contribute, and it's fun stuff. Um,
Mhm.
Exercising, squatting to a chair. Do you know how hard it is for older people to sit down without holding on to something and getting back
Mm.
up without holding on to something? You can do it. You start off very small. You do it just with your body weight to begin with, and then you start using some kind of weight, whether it's a dumbbell or uh, a package of food that you have in the house. I mean, you can make anything work for you, but just being able to sit down and get back up without having arms or supports of any sort, that I've seen so many people in nursing homes that could not do that. They weren't even
Mm.
encouraged to do it because they might fall. You can't be afraid of life if you want to get anywhere. You have to embrace it. And the other thing is, even doing, if you have a loop band, a long loop band, you stand on it, you grab it with both hands, and you do bicep curls.
Yeah, resistance band is one of the things I use a lot, and I actually recommend that to my patients because there's a lot of self-control with it, and you have different varieties of strength, and it's quite safe. So I'm glad you mentioned that. One last thing, the premise of the podcast is where ambition meets empowerment. And there's so many things about you that are so ambitious and so empowering. I want to know, what's the one bold thing in your life that has gotten you here? It may be a situation, maybe a person, but if there's that one thing that you could attribute to where you are today, what would that be?
That I finally listened to my
I knew
daughter.
you were going to say that. I was going to answer the question for him. Like, of course it's Michelle.
No, if it wasn't for Michelle, like taking that interest in me, I would not be here today. I would not.
Mm.
And I think I keep at it because I want to prove to her that, yes, I can do it. I can do what you told me to do. There isn't anything that you could hand her that she couldn't handle. She would just be able to do it. She's just a real powerhouse, and I don't think it's just because she's my daughter. I've had a lot of people in my life that I could have listened to, but wouldn't have had the impact that she has. There's no holds barred with her. She doesn't dumb up anything or dumb down things. Um,
Mm.
you're going to do the same thing as a 30-year-old or a 25-year-old is going to do
No excuses. I love it.
to
I'll
your
definitely keep
ability,
her.
you
Yeah.
know, to your
Yeah.
ability. Um,
Hmm.
I think I've got the most weight I think I've done picked up with dumbbells is a 40-pounder in both arms, hands, but that's mainly to do the shoulder shrugs. Doing that
Hmm.
is hard.
Yeah. Well, we are officially out of time. Joan, your story is an incredible reminder that it's never too late to rewrite your health narrative. So I thank you for inspiring us with your journey and sharing these practical, uplifting tips. It was truly inspiring.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for that.
Listeners, if you want to learn more about Joan and join her incredible community, follow her on Instagram at Train with Joan and visit her website at trainwithjoanofficial.com.
I hope you enjoyed this episode and thank you for listening. Video recording of this episode will be featured on our YouTube channel, Dr. Daisy Ayim. We are also found on Instagram at Polished Beauty Podcast or at Dr. Daisy Ayim. Remember, new episode drop every Wednesday, so stay tuned. Please like, share, follow.